Good YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, undefeated two-time heavyweight world champion British superstar boxer Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. 30 wins, no losses, 1 draw, 21 wins by way of knockout. He is 33 or 32 years of age, stands at 6'9", with an 85-inch arm reach. Tyson Fury. With that said, Tyson Fury is scheduled to have a highly anticipated trilogy match with Olympic bronze medalist, former WBC American heavyweight world champion, superstar boxer Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Recently, Tyson Fury had tested positive for C-19, which saw the initial date that was scheduled for July 24th postponed to October 9th. That's how we got to the October 9th date. Everybody knows that Tyson Fury tried hard, very hard, to do everything in his power, he and his team, to have a showdown, an all-British showdown with fellow countrymen, two-time unified heavyweight world champion, British superstar boxer Anthony Joshua. With that said, Tyson Fury was ordered to face Deontay Wilder in a contractually obligated trilogy match. And Tyson Fury and his team, they weren't happy that the judge ruled in Deontay Wilder's favor and that he has to face off against Deontay Wilder. So there was a lot of speculation that Tyson Fury was essentially attempting to, whatever in his power, to be able to get around the fight. That's the reason why there was a lot of conflicting reports coming out of his camp and from his team when the reports came out that he tested positive for C-19. With that said, fast forward to today, Tyson Fury has another situation on his hands, a more serious situation. Not that the C-19 is not a serious situation, but he has a true situation on his hands where his they welcomed a new baby girl to the family, he and his wife, Paris, and she's having complications. And according to his father, Big John Fury, they actually lost her for 3 minutes, and she was revived, according to Big John Fury, Tyson Fury's father. With that said, Big John Fury, he did a few interviews, and he stated that if it was up to him, he would advise Tyson Fury to pull out the October 9th fight with Deontay Wilder, because Big John Fury, he stated that Tyson Fury is not in training camp like he's supposed to be. He's not focused. He's distracted, obviously. And, you know, it's a concern because he stated that he's not a fan of the Crunk Gym and Sugar Hill, who's Tyson Fury's new trainer. They fought the first time, that being Fury and Wilder, and they fought to a draw. And since they fought to a draw, he parted ways with his then trainer, Ben Davison, and he brought in Sugar Hill, Crunk Gym, the late great Emmanuel Stewart, uncle and mentor to Sugar Hill, and the Crunk Gym. Crunk obviously is known for, you know, Tommy Hitman Hearns and Lennox Lewis, and, you know, many legends come out of that Crunk Gym. But their style and their belief is get your opponent out of there, don't leave it to the judge's hands, knockout. But Big John Fury, he states that in reverse, that means you could get knocked out. When you're looking for the knockout, you put yourself in position to be knocked out. And so he stated that he's not a fan of the Crunk Gym, and he says Deontay Wilder is much too smart of a fighter, has too high of a ring IQ, you know, to be susceptible to the game plan that they put forth in the second fight. So he says that Deontay Wilder is going to be far more prepared. Deontay Wilder is going to make adjustments, and that is not going to work. The second fight was an anomaly, essentially, and don't expect that to work in the second fight, in the third fight with Deontay Wilder. He says, I've been looking at the training footage and the clips. Deontay Wilder himself has a new trainer, and former American heavyweight star boxer, title contender, Malik King Scott. And he parted ways with his longtime trainer. And, you know, he stated that he's going to be a completely different fighter. He's making adjustments. So he stated that now it's up to us to make adjustments. And if we don't make adjustments, Tyson Fury could be in trouble. And the fact that we're not making adjustments on top of not making adjustments, Tyson Fury is not even focused on this fight because he's distracted with what's taking place with his newborn child, and the stress that is brought to Tyson Fury and his family. And so he stated that it's a serious concern, and that he feels that Tyson Fury should pull out of the fight. Well, Tyson Fury has now countered that, and Tyson Fury is saying the situation he's going through currently with his daughter is motivation, is motivating him essentially to be victorious and prevail against Deontay Wilder in the trilogy. And it's motivating him to stay healthy mentally, because we know Tyson Fury, he always states that he suffers mentally, okay? So he stated that, it's going to help him physically get on track and stay focused. So he's using it as motivation. He put up a training clip of him training, and he says nothing could be more grueling than what he's going through in his immediate family outside of the sport of boxing. The sport of boxing is easy. So he's saying nothing can be more grueling than what he's going through in that situation. So that just means that he can turn it up a whole other notch in training camp in preparation for Deontay Wilder. I truly believe that Tyson Fury and his team are not very confident. Big John Fury, he stated, we never wanted this trilogy match with Deontay Wilder. But Tyson Fury, he agreed to the trilogy match. He signed off on it. And Tyson Fury at one point in time was boasting and bragging about it being a trilogy. Right before the second fight, Tyson Fury was asked, about the trilogy, the contract for the trilogy. And Tyson Fury was asked, would he allow, should Deontay Wilder be victorious, would he allow Deontay Wilder to, face off against Anthony Joshua for undisputed? And Tyson Fury said absolutely not. He said not even if he won the fight would he look to fight Anthony Joshua for undisputed, opposed to fighting Deontay Wilder in a contractually obligated trilogy match. He says, we have a contract. We have to fight 3 times. So he boasted and bragged about having a contract for a trilogy match. So with that said, fast forward now, Tyson Fury is stating that he wanted to fight Anthony Joshua all along after the second fight. Okay, Big John Fury saying that they wanted the Anthony Joshua fight. They didn't want this trilogy match. His assistant head trainer, former 2-division world champion, British superstar boxer Andy Lee, he stated that he's seen the training footage, he's seen the clips, and he believes that Deontay Wilder is a more dangerous fighter than he was in the first 2 fights. Because he's going to have a chip on his shoulder, a huge boulder on his shoulder. He said not a chip, a boulder on his shoulder. He's going to look to prove a point. He's with Sugar Hill. He's doing some different things, going back to his grassroots, going back to setting up his punches and not just looking for the big right hand. So it's Andy Lee, who is his cousin and former world champion. Then you have Ricky Hatton, who's a very close friend of Tyson Fury, who's a 2-division world champion himself, right? A superstar British boxer. He says that he's been watching the training of Deontay Wilder, and he urges Tyson Fury to buckle down and get as focused as possible, because this is going to be a completely different Deontay Wilder that presents himself in the ring in a trilogy match. Well, Tyson Fury's father, Big John Fury, he also stated that Deontay Wilder can be a whole revamped different guy going into the trilogy match, and that he don't like the fight, okay? And that Tyson Fury was focused on Anthony Joshua. Well, that's Tyson Fury's bag, right? I truly believe Tyson Fury has never fulfilled any of his contractually obligated defenses. Never. So, with that said, I believe that they're very concerned with what Deontay Wilder is going to present. Tyson Fury, he even stated in a press conference, he said, I believe Deontay Wilder is going to be a different guy until he lands a big punch on me. Then he'll resort right back into who he's always been, and then he'll open himself up and give me an opening, and then I'll get him out of there. So he's even admitting that he believes Deontay Wilder is going to be a completely different guy in the ring. And then people say, well, it's such short notice. It's hard to believe that Deontay Wilder will make big changes. Well, Tyson Fury made drastic changes from his first fight with Deontay Wilder with Ben Davison to his second fight with Deontay Wilder with Sugar Hill. Completely two different styles, two different fighters. He was moving. He was being slick. He was on his toes. He was using the herky-jerky style in the first fight. And in the second fight, he was just pressing the fight, coming forward. Just, you know, being flat-footed, being lethargic, just coming forward, pressing the fight, pressing the fight. Completely two different guys. So it's not hard-pressed to see a guy with a high ring IQ like Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury making a change and showing the improvements immediately. So I believe that they're truly concerned. This may be a motivation on the part of Tyson Fury that he didn't have, you know, up until this point. Maybe that wasn't the case. Maybe he just didn't have, you know, what it takes to be motivated for a third fight with Deontay Wilder. Maybe it was stale. Okay, maybe Tyson Fury, he felt the pressure of, you know, all of the asterisks by the second fight. The gloves, the water, you know, that's pressure. Okay, Tyson Fury is on under a magnifying glass going into this trilogy match because everybody wants to see if he can duplicate what he did in the second fight, which is walk Deontay Wilder down and stop him. Okay, Big John Fury says that's not going to work. He says he's going to have to mix it up. He's going to have to be on his toes. He's going to have to move around the ring. And then he could employ the Sugar Ray Leonard tactics where he fought Marvelous Marvin Hagler. And at the end of every shoe shine, right? You know, at the end of every 15 seconds left in the round, 15 to 30 seconds left in the round, you just let your hands go, right? And so that's what Big John Fury is urging Tyson Fury to do. He says, now I have Tyson Fury in my backyard, back at home, away from the yes men that are just scared that Tyson Fury is going to fire them. He says that, you know, he's going to be a completely different guy and completely focused. But if he's not locked in, then he can absolutely get knocked out. So Tyson Fury, he debunks what Big John Fury stated. He stated that he's absolutely not going to pull out. It's going to be a motivation for him to fight Deontay Wilder, using his current situation and unfortunate situation with the birth of his new daughter as motivation. So I can't wait to see how this plays out October 9th. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue. Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share the videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Hey, this is Ebony Bridges, Blonde Bomber, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.